Alright, what up y'all? So today I'm stringing up all these cucumbers behind me, and you can see I have a ton of stakes in the ground behind me, and I need to get these things trellised up. So I'm going to flip y'all around here and show you how I'm doing it and what I'm using and how I'm doing it. Alright guys, so the product I'm using is called AgTech Trellis Netting. Now I'll put links in the description to this trellis netting so that y'all can find it on Amazon so you don't have to search all over the place for it. I can't guarantee they're going to have the exact same one, but it should be something similar. So this one I found online, and the major seed distributors, they sell one called Hortonova, which I've used in the past. And they sell it in all different shapes and sizes and lengths and configurations to suit your application. So this one is 80 inches tall. The mesh, the squares are 6.5 by 6.5 inches, and the length is 328 feet. Now, the other brands, they sell, 250 feet, shorter lengths, all kinds of configurations. Like I said, you can get this stuff in 3,280 foot giant roll if you have a giant operation. But what it is it's just plastic trellis netting. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna unroll it and cut it in 50-foot lengths, because my drip tape runs are in 50-foot lengths, and I want to keep it all even so that I know what I have in the future when I go to make new rows like next year or whatever. So this stuff should last a long time. You can get creative and do all kinds of string trellises and all that stuff, but these trellises are going to be really loaded up with cucumbers, and I want the strongest and best. And plus, this stuff is easier. You put it up, the stuff grows into the season. You want to rotate crops or whatever, rip it out, clean the vines off, put it in a different spot. If you just do string, it makes a mess unless it's compostable, but then it doesn't hold up as well and it stretches and sags. This stuff's supposed to be awesome, so we're gonna give it a shot. And I've used it in the past, like I said, for like cut flowers horizontally. So my plan here is to stretch this out in my shade spot over there and cut it in 50-foot lengths and then string it up on these trellises. All right, so I want to show y'all what I got going for stakes here. So you can see there's a ton of them pounded in the ground, and all these are just dead pine trees. And you can see how thick they are. But what I do is I go in the forest here and I harvest all the dead pine trees, because you can see the canopy closes in and the little ones just die, and they basically just sit there and cure and turn into awesome stakes. So if y'all missed out on that video, make sure to check out the link up here. I'll link y'all to that video. But what they are, I cut them with the chainsaw about 8 feet. This is about 8 feet. It's pounded in the ground, as best I can, so that I made sure to leave 80 inches, from there to the top of the row, because my trellis netting is 80 inches. So I don't know how often you should put them, but I'm going to try this based off of prior experience. I have a general idea of what works good. So this is about, 11.5 feet, 10 feet apart, whatever it was, 45-foot row divided by 4, whatever that comes out to. So you can see there's a ton of them, and that's 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, and then I got a weird shaped triangle row over there. But what I did is, it's easier if you put this stuff in the ground with post hole diggers before. That way you don't blow your arm out. But you can see my drip tape's there, and I just move over and go right there. So I just move over a little bit and then put it right there. Pound them in the ground, a foot or so, whatever gets me to the height I need. So we're gonna be trellising this one right here, just to give y'all an example of how it works, because it's gonna be way easier. Over here you can see they're growing like crazy. I had to throw them to the sides. It's gonna be way more of a challenge to get it all, strung up in here. So we got this weird shape row right here, this triangle, and it's going to be easier to show y'all. So let me go to my shade spot here. We're going to lay this stuff out, and we're going to cut it to 50-foot lengths. All right, guys, so I'm going to get this rolled out here. I got a tape, you can see from here, this flag, all the way down to the trailer down there, and I'm going to roll it out. Hopefully this will work how I'm thinking, but that's 50 feet from there down to the trailer, down to that little flag by the trailer. So I'm going to roll it out and cut it to 50 feet That way, you know, I'm good in the future. So if this works how I think it's gonna work, it should be good. I don't know how it's gonna work because of all the stretchiness and stuff, but let's see what happens. So I think what I'm gonna do is put it on a flag. Let me get another one for over there. Okay, so there's no way that's 80 inches. No! Alright, so I don't think this is gonna work out exactly how I thought it was. It's gonna be kind of hard to stretch, so I don't know. I might just kind of get it to where it needs to be and just cut it, because there's no way I'm gonna be able to unravel, you know, down there where it was raveled up and unstretch it. Let me see if I can play with it here for a second. All right, so basically what I came up with is if I get this leading edge right here, the main edge right here, if I get this perfectly tight, then the rest of it will follow, right? So you can't get the whole thing perfectly tight on the ground. So I'm just gonna pull it taut here and then cut it to like 55 or 50 and a half down there. All right, so you might say, why am I wasting all my time doing this? Well, I ran out of dirt. I was gonna make it, 50-foot runs, but where I'm farming is hard to do. So in the future, obviously when I improve it and, regrade it and make it better, I want it 50, 50, 50. That way everything's 50. The drip tape's all 50. The trellis is all 50. That way I can just grab stuff. I don't have to get like, oh, this one's 35. Oh, this one's 25. Oh, this one's 10. I want it even. That way it makes it 1,000 times easier for me. So let's go string this up. I'll show you how I'm gonna do it. All right, so most people use, zip ties, but I don't have any, so we're gonna use this tomato twine. This stuff is super strong and, it lasts forever. So I'm just gonna tie, just tie it up there so it stays and it won't stretch. So this stuff should work good. I wanna use zip ties. I don't have any and I'm not going to buy any, so we're gonna go with this. All right, so I'm gonna get this whole thing tied up and we'll be back here. This is gonna take forever. I don't wanna bore y'all and put y'all to sleep. All right, guys, so I wanna show you the progress I made so far. So I learned some tips and tricks along the way doing this here. Number one thing I wanna say is when you're doing this, make sure you know how far apart these are. So that's 6.5 inches. So say you want it every 10 feet apart or something, you gotta kinda adjust it. That way you can get this main part right here, right on your stake. That's the problem I'm running into because I just split the rows so they were divided up evenly, but I didn't think about that because, I ordered the trellis netting and was pounding stakes in the ground while it was in the mail, so you end up with this on some of them. Not ideal, but, that needs to be tied up a little bit more, but it gets the job done. So I learned as I went further down, obviously. You can see I got this one done, then I got the one behind it done, and now I'm on that one over there. But I'm just gonna wrap the video up here because it's the same thing, over and over again. So you can see I got these trained up on here. And they say you can fish a line through the top of it. I'm probably gonna do that. But when you pull this thing tight, I mean, it's it's tight, like it's good. Everything's tight. So you can see this is kind of tied up here on this one. Let me find an example of it here. Some of them like this right here. I had to kind of pull it like that and cinch up on it like that because it wasn't even on the stake, which really doesn't matter, I don't think. So you can see I got my extra balled up on the end there. And the main thing that I was doing, you saw me laying it out, measuring it. Well, that's not gonna work. That takes forever, don't do that. In the process of making this video, I figured out what you do is just string it up, and then, you know, if you're gonna make the rows, you want extra for longer rows in the future, just ball it up on the end. So what I do is, you can see this top line is tight. So that's stretched tight all the way down there, and then I just measure, you know, 5 feet off the top and cut it and just ball it up. So that seems to be working well. So I just like hang extra, like 5 feet or whatever, and then cut it there and just ball it up. So yeah, guys. So I'm just gonna finish these up, but that's the end of the video as far as I'm concerned, because it's just the same thing here and there. Oh yeah, one last thing. I got stakes pounded in the ground amongst all the tools and rocks and trash. I got stakes here because you are probably gonna wanna pull back on it to get that top line, you know, extra taut, because you can see without it, probably not gonna hold up too well, and you can see it's bending my whole stake. So when I put some reverse pressure on that, it's gonna be awesome. I'll give y'all an update later on in the growing season when this thing is just walls of cucumbers. So if you want to check out that video, make sure to check out up here when I get to it. All right, y'all, thanks for watching. So if y'all enjoyed this video, make sure to drop me a huge thumbs up down below. Don't forget to check out the links in the description, because I'll link y'all up to all these trellis supplies on Amazon, because they're not going to have it at big box stores. Don't waste your time looking unless you need, like, you know, a small 25-foot section, you know, 5 feet high or something like that. So check out those links. Don't forget to comment and subscribe for more videos in the future, because you know, I'm gonna have more videos as the season progresses, and you know, as these cucumbers grow, I'm gonna keep y'all updated. So don't forget to subscribe for more content in the future. Peace.